Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Melman podcast. I have my sidekick here, David Melman. This is Zach Marzo. On the line, we have a business owner, businessman, multi-franchise owner of Johnny's. You formerly would know it in Georgia as Johnny's Pizza outside of the state of Georgia. And Alex can touch on this a little bit more. The franchise is Johnny Brusco's. But his franchise locations, I know that one of them, he'll share a little bit more, is one of the top grossing restaurants. And we wanted to bring him on. He came, I guess, not from riches, really more, he'll share his story here about where he came from and where he is at now, and kind of just provide a little bit of inspiration to our listeners about, what it takes to be successful, kind of follow your dreams, follow your passion. So I just want to start off kind of asking you, Alex, kind of where you started, how you got to where you're at now, and, kind of how you started in the pizza business, and what the steps you took and kind of where you came to get to now.
So first, I just want to say thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. And I'm super happy that you guys are even doing this, trying to shed some light and inspiration on certain people during this crazy time. And even after all this happens, people need to hear certain things and just to kind of have a positive light source on them through some dark times, and just to kind of get them motivated and get through certain aspects of life. But to touch on my life on the whole pizza restaurant business, it literally started out when I was a teenager, like just applying for a pizza restaurant job. And I started as a dishwasher, working my way up. And as the years have gone on, I just had a certain, I found my niche. So I started as a dishwasher, worked my way up, became making pizzas to work in the ovens. And then sure enough, started managing certain aspects of the restaurant, and then kind of just kept climbing the ladder.
Sure. Well, how a lot of people listen and say, well, I'm a dishwasher, but I don't, I show up to work, but what does it take? How did you go from dishwasher to assistant manager to general manager to then owner? There were obviously certain qualities that, you carried, and maybe you would, tell, a teenager walking into their job for the first time. Because a lot of people think that, people that only have money are restaurant owners.
So first and foremost, it takes dedication and hard work ethic. You just can't get there from just being complacent. You need to show up every day and give it 2,000,000% on anything that you do that you have passion for and care for. And every day I walked into work wanting to be there, wanting to do more, learn more, grow more. And again, as the days and months and years continued on, I just found different doors opening for me that allowed me to climb that ladder in the restaurant industry, from being a dishwasher to an assistant manager to a general manager to then a store owner.
Sure.
It takes hard work, dedication, and you need to care about what you do. And I personally watched your first podcast. The one thing you hit on was care, and not only caring about your team, but you need to care about your business, care about yourself.
Sure.
And
David,
good things come.
David can, I'm sure, relate to this as well. People think success just happens overnight. I know you in the restaurant business, you probably worked every weekend for how many years, and people just think it's, you do something for a year and then they're not making big money and they give up, I mean, you should touch on this, David, about, where you started, or, you didn't just have an office
Sure.
with Melman Law Group on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And actually, let me backtrack, Al. I've known you half my life, and you actually used to be my boss back in Buffalo over at Just Pizza when you managed the place. I think you were an assistant manager at the time. And one thing that stands out, it's one thing to begin a business and have it your own and grow it. But what I saw in you was you worked in somebody else's business as if it was your own business. And that's the difference between somebody that's going to make it and succeed in the long run and eventually open up their own door versus somebody that's going to be just complacent, go to work, punch out, and do whatever they need to do. The minimum, maybe a little more than the minimum sometimes. But you were there every day, and you ran that place like it was your restaurant. And you had no equity in it, might have made $12 an hour doing it, but every day you made sure the employees did their job, and you treated it like it was yours. Let's fast forward 12, 13 years now through everything, and look where you're at. You have ownership in 3 Johnny Brusco's pizzas, which are absolutely huge in this area. And one of your stores is, I believe, at the top producing revenue-wise in the nation with all the Johnnies. Is that correct? So
that's correct.
Yeah. So you're looking at somebody that worked for somebody, but yet treated that business like it's their own. And I tell you this, if you practice and practice and practice as if it is your own, eventually it could become your own if you have the dedication and the mindset to want to do it. Some people might do it in 2 years. That can get some money borrowed from whoever. Some people might do it in 7 or 8 years. But if you have that mindset, you can't teach that mindset, I think. You're born with it. And you were born with it from the beginning. You crushed it. You worked your way up, and that was that. And now to answer Zach's question, we used to rent one office from a really, really close friend of ours, Samuel Johnson. He, took Marina under her wing and gave her an office to work, and we rented one office from him. And I don't even know if he charged us rent most of the time, because I don't think he did. And that's the kind of person he was. He wanted to see us succeed, and such a great mentor and many things. And that's where we started. I remember working a couple hours a day years ago at Chick-fil-A, just on their Wi-Fi. I would get a sandwich in the morning, drop my son off, and I would blast people on Facebook, giving them knowledge about what we do, because in my everyday job, the cool thing about our profession is we don't charge you up front. We work on a percentage. So I was letting everybody know, guys, if you're in an accident, it doesn't cost you anything to call us. We're here for you, and we work on a percentage in the end. So I was blasting people from Chick-fil-A's Wi-Fi, reaching out to hundreds and hundreds of people a day, and I think we got like 3 clients from that. So you start in one office. We ended up moving, bought a quarter of the building, bought half the building, and now we're looking to buy the whole building. We're talking about fast forwarding 4.5 years. You call it an overnight story, an overnight success, but nothing is overnight without hard work.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not.
Correct.
100%. I think most people, they look for the shortcut, and, you really never know who you're going to meet and what doors can open. And Alex can touch on this a little bit, because people might ask, well, did you go to college? Did you get a master's in hospitality management? Did you win the lottery? Did you save your money? But touch on a little bit on like how important it is to just, I guess, be yourself and work hard every minute of every day, because you never know who you're going to run into or meet that can open up a door for you and kind of see who you are and trust in you and, give you the opportunity.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You need to just be yourself. And if that certain self in you shows that you have it, quote unquote, it of what it takes to become successful, or a hard workhorse, or just simply determined to just make your life better, or something you're a part of better, that people, that light will shine and people will notice. And I was fortunate enough to find somebody who was a very dear friend of mine that is now my business partner in all 3 of my restaurants. And he saw a certain something in me that said, hey, listen, you know what? I kind of like what you're about, and I can see how hard you work. You have this tight-knit crew, and everything is flawless, and everything, food, service, customer service, A to Z is being executed at top notch. And I would like to open up another restaurant, or I'd like to invest in you in taking over restaurant 1 and then opening restaurant 2 and then naturally restaurant 3. So I was fortunate enough to have a bankroller to help support me in this.
Sure. And your journey.
In my journey, thank you, of starting my career and my passion of the pizza restaurant industry.
Sure.
I couldn't think of anything else that I would want to do.
And Al, can I ask you a question?
Any day. Sure.
How long did you know this, person that became a good friend of yours and investor before you guys even talked about investing or anything?
I would say less than 1 year.
Less than 1 year.
It less than 1 year. It was just we started just hanging out, whether it was a casual drink here and there or a poker night once a week or once a month, and it just, I guess, true colors just kind of shined through, and this person just had faith in me that we could get it done together.
Sure.
And it turned out to being a phenomenal partnership. And, here we are today, from starting from ground zero up, from opening restaurants, from literally gravel to having a full-blown, full-service restaurant.
And he was probably watching you work, let's say on the first couple weeks of coming in there, and watching who you are for weeks, months, right? And you didn't know he was watching you. I guarantee you didn't. You thought he was a customer at the restaurant having a bite to eat on their lunch break, right? Little do you know that everyone watches you, and you always have to work as if nobody is watching you, and you're just doing it for you're just doing it to be the best. And look what happened. Somebody was watching. They saw something in you. Not only did it become a great business relationship, but it became a great friendship as well. And I was listening to an interesting podcast a few weeks ago with John Morgan, and he said the word luck. And people are lucky naturally, right? But the great ones, they figure out a way to leverage their luck, and leverage in a good way. I guarantee you this person has crossed paths with hundreds of people in his years, right? But the fact is that you guys crossed paths. That's luck, I say, right? But then you leverage the luck based on your work ethic and your dedication to your skill. He saw that, and that's what and that's just incredible,
Mm-hmm.
I would say
I
that
agree.
hard work and dedication and preparation, when that meets opportunity, that becomes luck, if you will, because anybody with money, they don't just, walk into somewhere and say, hey, you want to help me with this? I really feel like Alex is a true testimony to, you don't need, not saying college is bad. There's nothing absolutely wrong with college, but most people think, if you don't go to college, you're not going to be successful. You can't own anything, but you never know who's watching. If you show up every day and you work hard, whether it's for a year or 10 years, an opportunity will come. You just have to stay dedicated and consistent to your grind, and somebody who has a good heart that has been there will see it and want to bring you up with them.
Right. That's 100% true. I don't have a college background. Gave it a shot. Wasn't for me. I wanted to hustle. I wanted to keep just working. I wanted that instant money every week. I didn't want to wait the long 4-6 year period of getting a degree and maybe having that what if question. What if I like this, or what if I don't? I knew I liked the industry that I was in. I liked the fast pace. I liked dealing with people. I liked working with different personalities. I liked everything it had to offer, and I knew that I could make it something of my own eventually. I never thought that I would ever have 3 restaurants, and one being, like we discussed earlier, the busiest location, the top grossing restaurant in our franchise in the country. I never would have imagined that. But
how many stores, Al? How many stores?
That's what I was going to ask.
I believe we're in the low 70 nationwide.
Sure.
Like 70, 71 stores nationwide. We just opened up a few in Georgia and in Tennessee. But like I said, I never would have in my wildest dreams have imagined I would have been even an owner of a restaurant. I just thought I could just kind of climb the ladder and just maybe manage one or run one and just become satisfied with a decent living. And now I think back, I'm like, wow, this really happened. It's kind of incredible every day. And I love waking up and going to work every single day because A, it's mine, and B, I love it. I genuinely love the whole pizza restaurant atmosphere and the aspect of giving a good product and providing an excellent service to people, and people who need to eat, they want to eat. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but who doesn't love pizza? So I just find joy literally in everything I do every single day.
What's your favorite pizza on the menu?
I'm going to have to say with our Johnny's Italian Special, it's a mix of both meat and veggies, and it kind of hits every aspect of your taste buds.
It's a good one.
And I'm
like
I'm not being biased just because we have Alex on the line, but I would say Johnny's, and these aren't even Alex's restaurants because he's in North Carolina, and obviously we're here in Georgia, but Johnny's has some of the best wings around. Sweet Baby Ray's, little blue cheese, money.
Delicious. And
That's correct.
You bring up your customers, loving them and taking care of them with the best food. But one thing also, I've worked with you in Buffalo, I've worked together in Charlotte, and you treat your team with respect and care all the way around.
That's
you
right.
treat them with respect and care, and we have something in common when it comes to the team, and that's we don't work off of fear, we work off of love. And I think that's another thing that you and I get along with, because you truly go to bat for anybody on your team, and that's a team that's working for you on a Friday night at 7:00 when you're 20 orders deep, and no one's gonna flip up their hands and say I give up because they know that you have their back and anything else. So they're fighting it hard, making sure everything is smooth for you on a busy night, and that's because they respect you and they care for you.
Sure.
That's right. That's right.
I mean,
That's
share
right.
your. You told me this story before about even somebody who's hired as a dishwasher, and that's kind of where you start, hostess, dishwasher. You have it, but such a sign of love. Where you were tell the story about even you giving up. Well, you've picked up. I'm sure a ton of people didn't have rides. Restaurant industry is a little bit different. It's not salaried positions, hourly wages, minimum wage, whatever it is, but even the dishwasher that I think you either bought him a bike, loaned him a bike. What happened there?
Yeah, so he wasn't a dishwasher. He was just one of our line cooks, and I saw like something. He was just a really good guy, just kind of like in a tough way. He was having a hard time getting to work, and I needed did I only need him there? I wanted him there. I knew that he needed the money to work, and he was also a good asset to our team at the time. And I was like, you know what? I have a bike. You live, 5-6 miles away from the restaurant. Instead of getting a cab or an Uber or whatever, maybe, or even simply walking in the rain, like I decided to give him my own personal bike, and he didn't want me to give it to him. So I said, okay, I will sell it to you for $1. So I sold him my bike for $1. And so naturally he bought the bike, and he came to and from work, and he was on time every single day for, I don't know,
Sure.
a few months' time. And naturally he's no longer part of the team, but like Dave said about caring and showing care and love instead of fear, I definitely operate in that aspect every single day. I actually give a shit about my team. If they had a great day, a crummy day, what's going on with them. If they're no good, I'm no good. So therefore, I need them to be good in order for us to be good, and it's as simple as that. And just from working every day and making it happen to after hours with just simply showing a little love, or just maybe pulling them aside and just giving and caring about what they are, who they are, what they're dealing with, what they're going through, and just trying to make them feel more of an importance to my business, my life, and everything. And I think that goes a long way, and they actually can feel that I do care. And in return, hopefully, in most cases, that turns around and it rubs my back from me rubbing their back.
For sure. It's well said. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Past month, how are you adjusting to a different type of business situation? For example, not being able to do dine-in when a lot of your business was dine-in, human interaction, joking, laughing at the bar, and now you've shifted it so well to accommodate your guests and even your employees as much as you could. And explain to me that thought process and thinking on the spot, because nobody's been in that position before where these restaurants are closing down. How did you do it so quick, so efficiently, to where you didn't dip too hard? You know what I mean?
Right.
Could you explain that to us?
Yeah. Well. First, I definitely have to applaud that our company, Johnny's and Johnny Brusco's, because we are a small franchise system, but it's a very tight knit group, and their support system is super huge. And with helping from getting our online ordering team and system in place immediately within like 24 hours, it came through big time. just simple adjustments from trying to make sure that all to-go food was hot, fresh, labeled, sealed with seal tape to make sure that the guest knew that it wasn't tampered with, whether it was a delivery or a takeout order, or curbside pickup, whatever it may be, even to doing paying online, over the phone, touchless as best as we could, delivering the pizzas or wings or whatever it may be into the back seat of their vehicles or their trunks, just trying to make everybody feel as comfortable and as safe as possible. It's definitely been a huge curve, something that not only I have never dealt with, but many people have ever dealt with. It was almost like reinventing our whole restaurant system overnight when we found out that we couldn't have any guests dine in or serve them drinks or watch a sports game or just simply joke and goof and laugh and ask how their weekend was or their kids were at their soccer game or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It was a big adjustment for sure.
And keeping most of your staff, if not all the staff, keeping them paid, able to support themselves, even though, everybody's business dipped. That's, without a doubt. But yours didn't go extinct like a lot of businesses just had to shut down. You're actually, if it stayed, I look at it like this, even though business may have gone down or stayed the same or whatever it was, if you just, nobody knows what's to come. So if the circumstances stayed the way they were, you would survive. While other people, unfortunately, they have different restaurants and things. But I don't know. I think it's cool that you can still employ people. They obviously didn't lose their jobs. You were still able to feed, the community, and you can, share on that a little bit too.
Yeah, I am not one to throw in the towel. I had it in my mind that we were never going to close up our doors until somebody literally walked in and forced me to lock the doors and say, you cannot make food for the general public anymore. I know I have, between all three locations, probably close to 100 employees that most have a family to support or mortgage to pay or apartment and car payments to make, or children to feed. And some are high school and college kids that just simply need some extra spending cash for beer weekend money or cell phone payment or whatever it may be. But I was determined to keep everybody employed, and we've cut back. Don't get me wrong, we've cut back. Some of the full-time or overtime employees are now not even working full-time, but they're still getting some paychecks. And the restaurant is down percentage-wise in sales, but we are sustaining, and we're just keep going every day, and we're just trying to make new ways and create better systems to make this whole takeout, curbside, and delivery process as flawless as possible, so everybody is still super satisfied and happy with good to-go food. It just kind of you just have to roll with the punches and just take it as they come. And it's a learning experience. Like I said, I don't have a college degree, so it's almost like I have to figure it out as I go. And if there's a problem, then you have to just think on your feet, think quick. And even I rely on my team even to give me some answers. Sometimes I don't have all the answers. And Dave, you know this as well. Sometimes you have to rely on Zach for maybe a solution, or Marina, or one of your other team members that you rely on to find a solution. And together, that's what builds a great team. And you just kind of just get through it together. And that's what I feel that we have. And I'm not afraid to ask for help or give suggestions or get suggestions. And naturally, if I don't like that suggestion, then we're not going to go with it. But I want to take all forms of input and just become as best as we can.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it, Al.
For sure. I think, we obviously wanted to have you on because, whether, you're a doctor or lawyer or some other type of professional with some type of certificate or something, I think it's equally as important not only to show that, people can come from anywhere or anything and become successful. It starts with your intrinsic, your inner self and motivation. And regardless if you knew you were going to be a dishwasher for 15 years, you still would have washed those dishes as best and fast as you possibly could have until somebody recognized, hey, this kid works hard. We should, give him something else to do. just as you want to do now for other people. And, you know, me and David talk all the time and feel awesome about, you know, team members or potential team members that just have a good heart. They want to work hard. You want to help those people. So
Right.
if you can, you know, there's no ego. You go into work, and this is for anybody listening, whether they're, you know, 50 and looking for a new job, which may be the case with, you know, everything that's going on now. If you show up with positive energy, a good attitude, you're reliable, you're dependent. These things are not super complicated. You know, you show up to
Right.
work on time, you do what you're asked, you do, you know, a little bit more than what you're asked, and good things will happen. I
Right.
believe that.
It will.
100%. I agree. I couldn't agree more.
You know, whether it takes a week, a year, 3 or 5 or 10 years to get noticed, everybody doesn't have an unlimited bankroll to back them. So most have to put the hard work in and work hard every day, and, you know, hope the best comes out of it. And if you're one of those people, eventually, I really believe it will work out for you. You can't give up. You got to keep grinding, keep pushing. And it is endless, you know, from being a dishwasher. We're talking about 14, 15 years ago, Al, to having 3 restaurants, and who knows how many you're going to have in 5 or 10 years. You might have 10 or 15 restaurants. So
Right.
How old are you, Al?
32.
32.
33 next month.
32, 33. You know, so like I said, the sky is the limit. Keep pushing.
That's right.
That's right.
I think
Yeah.
the Johnny's franchise, you know, obviously should be proud to have, you know, franchise owners that not only own but also work in it. I mean, I know you've told me before you're still making pizza, sweeping the floor, and that's a whole nother, you know, conversation for another day because, you know, David and I will take the trash out, drop off the mail, clean up spills. Like, doesn't matter who you are. It's about, you know, just being a part of a team and showing people
right.
that, you know, that you care. So we obviously, you know, appreciate you and being on the channel. You know, we're right down the street from a Johnny's. Johnny's is being represented well by you, and you know, they should be proud and, you know, keep crushing it.
We appreciate your time to come on here. Keep crushing it. Keep doing well. You know, I love the mindset. Don't ever change that mindset. That's what got you from there to here now. And we really, we love you, Al.
Yeah, guys. All right. Love you both. And just keep doing this. This is huge. I really hope people bite into this and start listening, even if it's, you know, for only a handful of these podcasts they listen to. But if they hear, you know, just an inkling of what you guys have to say, or maybe take a little bite of my story, if it changes just one person, or if it changes 100 people, that's obviously a good impact in a positive way. So just keep doing it, guys.
Cool. See ya.
See you, man. Later.
Good stuff. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.